Coming up on DITV, we bring you the latest updates after yesterday's terrorist attack in New York City.
And later, we tell you about a new initiative that's making textbooks more affordable.
The Iowa football team keeps reeling in those awards.
And the men's basketball team bounced back into the win column. Find out more on sports.
Will we see any more snow this week? Keep watching to find out more on weather.
We have all that and more coming up.
DITV starts right now. Good morning and thanks for tuning in to this live Tuesday edition of DITV. I'm Noah Gowdy.
And I'm Becca Scadden.
We begin this morning with some developing news. Yesterday, an explosion took place near Times Square in New York City.
We have DITV News reporter Mackenzie Cooper live in the newsroom with an update. Mackenzie, what can you tell us?
Thanks, guys. Authorities are calling this an attempted terrorist attack. And while new details are still emerging, specifics are still unknown. On Monday morning near the Port Authority bus terminal near Times Square, a man detonated a homemade pipe bomb, which he was wearing. The suspect, Al-Qaid Allah, pledged his loyalty to ISIS following the attack, according to authorities. While the bomb did not fully detonate, 4 people, including Allah, were still injured and were treated at New York City hospitals. The suspect, an immigrant from Bangladesh, came to the United States in 2011. Allah claims he made the bomb at his home while getting some of the supplies from his workplace. He was employed as an electrician in Manhattan. From 2012 to 2015, Allah held a taxi and limousine commissions license, but it is unclear where or if he worked for a specific car service. Yesterday, the Trump administration weighed in on the tragic events.
These brave first responders and the others who rushed to the scene are heroes. On behalf of the President and a grateful nation, we would like to thank them and commend them for their bravery. This attack underscores the need for Congress to work with the President on immigration reforms that enhance our national security and public safety.
This attack comes 6 weeks after the most recent terrorist attack in New York City, where a man drove through the west side of Manhattan, killing 8 people.
Thanks, Mackenzie. Now, can you tell us about the charges that the suspect will be facing?
Yes, it was announced this morning that the suspect will be tried in federal court in Manhattan on terror offenses. Authorities are also still investigating exactly where the bomb was supposed to go off, whether that be at the Port Authority bus terminal or somewhere else.
Mackenzie Cooper in the newsroom, thank you.
The Department of Justice is appealing the ruling allowing transgender people to enlist in the military. Beginning in January, the Pentagon will allow applications despite Trump's original ruling. The Justice Department appealed the decision last week, and the Pentagon created a panel to discuss whether or not they will be accepting transgender recruits. Stick with DITV as this story further develops.
The University of Iowa student government met towards the end of the semester to tackle the issue of textbook prices on campus. DITV News reporter Christopher Cervantes has more.
One semester ends, a second is set to begin. That means another wave of classes, but more importantly, another wave of textbook payments. A fact of college life that is now becoming something of a hazard. Recent studies have showed that the price of a single textbook has gone up by 88% over the last 10 years. This means that students, both full-time and part-time, are facing a serious dent in their pocketbooks.
Costs are getting higher. Almost all students spend around $1,200 a year on textbooks alone.
As of last week, the University of Iowa student government met to discuss how they could rectify the situation and remove some of the burden from the students.
We just passed legislation in the Student Senate talking to university and saying we hope to place more accountability measures related to Higher Education Opportunity Act, which has some textbook compliance measures.
Additionally, the UISG has set up a textbook donation drive to further alleviate the issue, as well as support their goal of Hawks helping Hawks. With the constantly moving textbook industry, it will be quicker than expected to see if these measures work. Reporting from downtown Iowa City, this is Christopher Cervantes, DITV.
Well, Becca, the weather outside is really making me feel like the winter is here to stay.
You know, Noah, we started to see a little bit of snow yesterday, but nothing really stuck. And surprisingly, there was actually more snow back home for me in Georgia. Let's toss over to Susanna in the weather studio to see if we're going to see any up here.
Yeah, guys, we saw some flurries yesterday in the afternoon, but that looks like all the snow we're going to see for the rest of this week until late Saturday night. Today, we're expecting the sun to peek back out from behind those clouds, and the high will reach 32 degrees. Wednesday will be another cloudy day, but the high will increase 10 degrees to 42 for the day. But on the other hand, the lowest temperature we'll have during this week will be Wednesday night, as it will drop down to 22 degrees. Now let's take a look at our extended forecast. The rest of the weather for this week is looking to be pretty dreary, with mostly cloudy skies in the forecast and the sun only coming out every so often. The highs are going to fluctuate between the mid-30s on Thursday and Sunday and the lower 40s on Friday and Saturday, as well as a 50% chance of snow in the evening on Saturday. Looking on into next week on Monday, we'll see the sun come back out and the high of 52 degrees to start off your first week of break. Happy Tuesday, everyone, and good luck on all your finals. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Susanna. The University of Iowa Housing and Dining is taking steps to help Hawkeyes in need. The new Hawkeye Meal Share program lets students donate their unused guest meal swipes they didn't end up using to any Iowa student in need. If a student is food insecure, meaning they don't have access to quality and affordable food, they can contact Student Care and Assistance. The meals are available this spring, and students can make requests by visiting the University of Iowa website under the Student Assistance tab.
With finals week in full swing, continues one of the long-standing traditions here on campus. Flipping into finals is one of the many things the university does to prepare students for the week ahead. Hundreds stood in line to get their free breakfast, and some even had to work for it. Now, this isn't the only perk students can look forward to. All this week, the IMU will be hosting a variety of events to help ease stress. From popcorn and snacks to complimentary massages, there's something for everyone to take their mind off of finals. Tune in tomorrow on DITV, where we will bring you more details about the events happening this week.
And as expected, Kinnick Stadium is beginning to undergo its multi-million-dollar renovations.
This was the scene past weekend as construction crews wasted no time tearing down the north end zone as a part of the new Kinnick Edge Club seating. Fans are expected to see the new upgrades next season, including more restrooms and concession stands.
Due to construction, Evashevsky Drive, the road behind the north end zone, will be closed until next fall. The entire renovation of the north end zone is expected to be completed by fall 2019.
Well, Becca, I'm very excited to see those new renovations on the stadium.
Absolutely, Noah. Me too. Can't wait till next year, but we do still have one football game left. Let's toss over to the sports studio for more, guys.
Thanks, guys. The renovations in Kinnick aren't the only news coming out of the football program today. A couple of Hawkeyes were selected to the Football Writers Association of America's All-American team. Linebacker Josie Jewell and cornerback Josh Jackson. This is the fourth time in 5 years that Iowa has had at least one consensus All-American.
Jewell ranked third nationally in total tackles with 125 and is also a finalist for the Senior Class Award and won the Lott Impact Trophy. Jackson's tied for leading the country with 7 interceptions and 25 passes defended. Jackson was a finalist for the Jim Thorpe Award.
It was nice to see the Hawkeye men's basketball team bounce back into the win column here in Iowa City on Sunday after losing 4 straight. DITV's Taylor Van Fleet has more on what led the Hawks to that 91-60 victory over Southern.
The Hawks were finally able to snap that 4-game losing streak here at home on Sunday night. After coming off that tough loss against Iowa State on Thursday, the offense was able to come alive and carry them to a much-needed win. The Hawks got off to a slow start against Southern on Sunday night, but the offense was able to get going towards the end of the first half, and from that point on, it was all Iowa. After coming off a game in which Iowa turned the ball over 18 times and only shot 1 for 8 from the free throw line, the Hawks were able to bounce back. They only turned the ball over 7 times against Southern and made 22 of their 28 free throw attempts. The defense also showed up in Sunday night's game, allowing the Jaguars to just 60 total points. And the Hawks took advantage of second chance opportunities as well, where they scored 17 of their total points.
I think we had to execute the game plan. Our coaches have done such a great job of preparing us for games, and I don't think we've, went out there and executed any of the game plans yet. So I think coming out here and doing that was a big focus for us, and I think we did a really good job of that.
Definitely, you look down and you see 7 turns. That's a number that hasn't been there in a while. It's been double digits, so we got to continue that trend.
Now the Hawks will have almost an entire week to prepare for their next game when they face Drake University in the Hy-Vee Classic this Saturday. But they hope this will be the start of a turnaround in their young season. Reporting for Iowa basketball, this is Taylor Van Fleet with DITV Sports.
It may have only been one game, but it feels like that win will be the potential for momentum boost for this young team as they're preparing to head into conference play in just 3 short weeks. We'll find out if they can build off this win when they face Drake this Saturday in Des Moines at 1 p.m.
The Iowa Gym Hawks gymnastics team received recognition this week, becoming ranked for the first time this season.
And the Gym Hawks come in number 20 in the Road to Nationals coaches preseason poll, and they open the regular season in Temple, Arizona against number 22 ranked Ohio State.
The 2018 Gym Hawks returned 14 letter winners along with 5 newcomers, and it should be really interesting to see what they can put together this year.
The Iowa women's basketball team was back in Carver last Saturday and matched up against Arkansas Pine Bluff in an 85-45 shutout. It was another assist-high game as Iowa finished with 23.
Assists are a major stat that the Iowa Hawkeyes love to shine light on and credit their players for.
Yeah, you know, this team really loves to pass the ball. We celebrate the assist. In practice, we don't even talk about, a lot of times, Megan make the basket. We'll talk about Tanaya making the assist. And I think that leads into, we value the assist. We celebrate the assist. We love the assist. And so, and you have players that are giving up good shots for passing to your teammate for a great shot. That's team basketball at its finest. And we love to play that way. And I think the fans enjoy it too.
The Iowa State game, Tanaya knew she needed to improve her shot in order to bounce back for last Saturday's game.
I felt great. Like you said, I had a really tough shooting night, but I tried to contribute in other ways at Iowa State, and I definitely felt like I did that. But after Iowa State, I just met with my position coach and just went to work, back to the basics on shooting, off the dribble, stationary, and just getting back focused and clearing my mind. Every shot is not going to go in, obviously, but for me, I feel like every shot should go in. So just getting back to the basics and seeing the ball go through the rim tonight was amazing.
The Hawks play Northern Iowa next on December 17th.
Iowa returns to action December 17th when they'll travel to Cedar Falls to face Northern Iowa at 2 p.m.
Track and field kicked off their season this past weekend with an inter-squad meet. The program is the best it has ever been under Coach Joey Woody. Hopes to take the Hawks to the national stage with more as well Silverstein.
From top-tier sprinters on the track to record-breaking times and pole vaulters and field events, track and field head coach Joey Woody is lifting the Hawkeyes to a nationally competitive status.
Got a lot of talent, and those guys they want to score points at the national meet, and I believe that both the men and the women, I think we've got 2 really good teams that are going to perform not only well at the Big Ten level, but we've got the elite athletes that's going to contribute and allow us to score points at the national championships, and that's how you become a top 10 team.
The cold terrain of southeastern Iowa does not tend to appeal to a lot of warm-blooded recruits, so Woody made an extra effort to showcase all of what Iowa City has to offer.
100 juniors on campus and families, so we had over 300 people. We had 5 buses that were transporting them around today. So just to have, and we had people that flew in from Texas and from Florida just to come and watch this meet and get a chance to see what Iowa track and field is all about.
And what is Iowa track and field all about? Standout performances against elite teams last spring showed that Iowa is a track and field school.
People are really seeing that track and field at Iowa is really on the move, on the way up, and so I'm excited about where we're headed. We still got a lot of work to do, and this is just the start. It's definitely not the finish.
Iowa track and field next laces up on January 13th at the Hawkeye Invitational. Reporting from the UI Recreation Building, this is Will Silverstein, DITV Sports.
We're expecting big things this year from Carter Lilly and Jalen Roberts Lewis, and there's nothing like hearing the crowd roar down the stretch at a new race at the UI Recreational Building.
That's all we have in the sports studio for today. Tune in tomorrow for a special feature on Iowa's Megan Gustafson.
And a fun piece on the canoe battleship intramural. Guys, back to you.
And that'll do it for this edition of DITV. Be sure to tune to dailyiowan.com every day, Monday through Friday.
And as always, remember to grab your copy of the print edition of the Daily Iowan. For DITV, I'm Noah Gowdy.
And I'm Becca Scadden. Thanks for watching and have a great day.